It's Christmas, everybody. Hey guys, it's Jay. Welcome back to the channel. So, yeah, the technical difficulties as always. I mean, it's my show, right? I mean, like that's the way it is. How is everybody out there tonight? I want to wish everybody out there a very happy and safe holiday season. I got to tell you, it's pretty nuts out here in Ontario, Canada. It it is minus 12 degrees. It's actually more closer to 15, minus 15 degrees. And you know what? Let me just check what that is in minus 15 degrees Celsius to Fahrenheit. Let's see what's there. Yeah, it's 5 degrees Fahrenheit out here. I don't know if that's going to shock anybody, but it is 5 degrees Fahrenheit out here, minus 15 degrees Celsius. So yeah, it's cold. It's cold. And last night we got the dumping of our lives. It started out with rain. So this is the weird thing about Canada. It was 2 degrees, which I guess would be okay. I'm going to do this again. It 2 degrees, which is let's do this again. 35.6. Get this, guys. It was 35.6 degrees Fahrenheit last night, and sorry, yesterday afternoon. It was 2 degrees. That went on until about I say 7 o'clock this morning. And then around 7 o'clock this morning, the temperature started dropping and dropping and dropping, dropping. It got to about minus 10, and then the snow started rolling in. So you got to think about this. It was raining all night last night, all night. So it was a slow ice sheet that started going all over the roads and the sidewalks and everything. And then I guess around it would have been like 11:30. It just the snow just started coming in like crazy. We got about 4 or 5 centimeters, and almost a half an inch within 2 hours, and it was just a huge dumping of snow. And of course, who decides to go out to do some, last minute holiday shopping? This guy. Like I literally went out there. I have no my insurance company is going to kill me. I have no snow tires yet. I actually still haven't put them on, and I went out there in the whiteout that it was, and just went to town. I was like, screw it. I'm gonna go check out if anybody's at the mall, and it was just absolutely ridiculous. So yeah, that was really dumb of me. But I had to mail out some packages. I had to do a whole bunch of things. So it was just that kind of thing. Anyway, got back safely, thankfully. Good stuff. But yeah, definitely don't be like me. Don't be an idiot. Don't go out in the snowstorm just to go check out the mall. However, I'm not the only idiot out there. There were like hundreds, thousands of people out there. The roads were dicey, but it wasn't so bad. If any of you guys live up northern states, you guys will know what I'm talking about. But yeah, then it kept dropping and dropping, dropping until it hit about, as I said, 2 degrees Fahrenheit, minus 15 degrees Celsius. So yeah, great white Christmas, because I didn't think we were gonna get a white Christmas. I thought we were gonna it was gonna be another green Christmas for us, because that happens a lot in Canada, in Ontario. Um, but tonight, that's right. Once again, I want to wish everybody out there a very safe and happy holiday season. Merry Christmas to everybody who celebrates it. Only one day left, guys. One shopping day left, and then you're crap out of luck. If you haven't picked up all the toys for every little kitty out there in your life, or any of the kidults, yes, I said it, kidults out there, who's special to you in your life. Tomorrow is the last day, so definitely head out to your Targets, head out to your WalMarts. If you're in Canada, head out to Toys R Us, head out to Walmart. Do whatever you can. Go to your Ollies, go to your Big Lots, go to wherever you have to go to get that special somebody, that little kid or that big kidult in your life, and make sure you get them that action figure or that doll or that whatever it is that they happen to collect. Make sure you grab it for them, because it's been a long year, but it's been a great year in terms of the fact that we actually all got to go out and gather and get back into the normal swing of things. The way things have been. It's been great for that, because for the past 2 years it's been an absolute nightmare. So to help celebrate the eve of Eve, the Christmas Eve. I think that's what they called it, right? But actually, we are in Christmas Eve right now. It is 1 a.m. At least here in Ontario. It is 1 o'clock a.m. 1:08 a.m. actually. So it was officially now Christmas Eve here in Ontario, and for some of you, it's still Christmas Eve Eve. So one last day, guys, one last day to go shopping. So happy Merry Christmas to everybody in about 23 hours, about 23 hours, and we will start opening all those wonderful presents that everybody gets us. But for today, I wanted to ask the question of the term kidult. Has anybody ever heard this term? I mean, like, Geek Dad Life covered this. So did a whole bunch of other YouTubers. It's become a big buzz thing in the industry now. And I've never heard this term. I'm wondering if you've ever heard this term. I have some special guests tonight who are gonna help us out with that. The first of which is in Canada as well. He's a fellow Knucklehead, but he's on the other side of the country, and they don't get much snow over there. I don't know if it's snowing there now, but he'll be able to tell us. And he actually has some expert, what's it called? He actually has some expert testimony because somebody actually interviewed him about the term kidult. So today, guys, please help me welcome my very special friend, of course, my special friend. Yeah, he's my special friend, but he's also my special guest. Help me welcome Ken of Toy Konnections, everybody. Ken, how are you doing tonight, my friend? You're on mute. Do not forget to unmute yourself.
Well, all right. So first off, is it snowing outside? The answer is yes.
Oh, wow.
It is absolutely freezing out here. It's been in the minus temperatures for the last 3 or 4 days. We're finally getting a little bit of rain right about now. So I think the snow is going to wash away over the next few days.
See, now, so you're in British Columbia, right?
That's right. Greater Vancouver area.
And you are in Vancouver. Okay. And the way Vancouver is, for those of you who don't know, they've got these mountains, these ranges, and it protects them from and they're close to the water, because they're Vancouver Islands. And you're on the mainland, is that correct?
Yeah. I'm on the mainland, not on Vancouver Island. But,
okay. So the thing is that they're protected by the water, so it's usually very, very mild temperatures up there. But what was the temperature there today? This past few days there, Ken. What was the temperature?
So it was between like -6 and -10 all week Celsius. Wow. It's gone up to about 1 to 2 degrees now.
Okay.
Yeah, and I see a lot of friendly faces, friendly names in the chat. You know, we got Duchess, Jordan, Frankie, Kayla, Nolan. A lot of really good names here. Masterverse, a lot of friendly names here. So glad to see everyone on the eve of Eve for me still, although it's Christmas Eve for you, just by an hour right now. And yeah, somebody from the radio, like a friend of a friend, works for the radio, and they wanted to cover this NBC article out here out west on the local CKNW station. And they're like, I know a guy who can probably speak to this topic. So they threw me on the radio for about 6 minutes. You know me, I'm technical. Well, I'm my own worst critic. So because it was a phone call, I listened to it back and I kind of cringe because phone call audio is not the best when you're trying to broadcast it over the airwaves. Yeah. But I thought, some people told me that, you represented us collectors well. You didn't kind of, represent the geeky collector. You went out there and you embraced everything and you kind of explained things in layman terms. And, you touched on the bigger topics like Lego and things like that. And so as for the term kidult, I heard the term about 10 years ago on Toy Hunter.
Weird.
There's one episode where Jordan Hembrough mentions the term kidult.
Gotcha.
And I didn't hear the term again until last week.
Wow. So that's the thing, right? Maybe it's been up and down in the wordsmith ethos, right?
Yes.
Maybe it's been out there, but I've never heard it until Jay over at Geek Dad Life actually said the term. And then I literally, in my brain, I was like, okay, what marketing genius came up with kidult, right? And we're going to get into that. But as you said, there are a lot of friendly faces in the chat right now. So why don't we just quickly, and I do say quickly, my usual spiel is to run through everything. But let's do this quickly because, we got a lot of things to cover tonight and a lot of things to talk about. So Andrew Davis is in the house. What's going on, my friend? 10:55 p.m. It's way too early. Jay, you need to send that package shot to me, email, so I'll be looking for it. Funnily enough, Andrew, I can do this because my camera is very, very fuzzy. But because Andrew is calling me out, and I don't mind that, he can call me out all day long. Look what was the pause, for crying out Andrew, look what was in the mail. That's the mailer bin, and that is the mailer bin. And if you look at it, it actually says United. So that means United States. It's heading to you, buddy. So thank you for being so patient. It's been a very unusual week. Sorry, a couple months. But thank you, Andrew, for being so patient. Really appreciate it. Since I'm here alone, I'll just open up with a few new packages I received. So many boxes, so little time. What collecting community hit like if you like that in the chat? Thank you so much, Andrew. Do you remember me as in the house? Been here for the last 3 hours. Master Versal Toy Hunter, good evening, Master Versal. How's the weather over there in New Zealand? Let us know, Master Versal. Good evening to you. Jordan from Canada, happy holidays. Merry Christmas Eve to you too, Jordan. Absolutely. Andrew Davis, what's going on? We're on this channel too. What up, Jay? What up, chat? Hit the likey. Thank you so much, Andrew. Ryra Ken is in the house. Merry Christmas, guys. Happy holidays. Maningan Pasko, Beri Papis. Thank you so much, Pare. Very, very happy Christmas to you too, my friend. DC Multiverse Collector, what's up, everybody? Merry Christmas and have a happy New Year. Duchess of Darkness in the house. Hello, Jay. Hello, everybody. Happy holidays and Merry Christmas Eve. Nolan, Merry Christmas to all. Hope everyone had a great weekend. We did. The rest of us got snowed in, but we did okay. Mark Riddell, hope everyone's staying warm. It was freaking cold, man, and I was doing some shoveling. Raymond Chong, Merry Christmas, everybody. Merry Christmas to you too, Raymond. Yo, Joel C, Mega Man. Yeah, that's right. The Mega J is in the house. Jill Gillespie. Hi, everybody. I may not be able to stay long. Hopefully, you're all having a wonderful holiday season. You too, Jim. Happy holidays to you too. DC Multiverse Collector again. Happy holidays to you too. Rhea Black is in the house. Kevin Herbert, good to see you. Far out. I have the aircon and it's still hot. Oh my god. If only, right, Ken? If only.
Oh, probably because he's in the Philippines or what?
I think he's in the U.S. somewhere.
Okay.
Kevin. He might be in the Philippines. I don't know. Rhea, don't forget to hit that like, people. Thank you so much, Rhea. Chinovo, what up, guys? What up, Chinovo? Thundercats85. Hell yeah. We're expanding the industry, but the term kidult is stupid. And there's the thing. It's a polarizing kind of situation, right? Quickly, Ken, what are your thoughts on kidult?
So anytime I say the term, I just I've grudgingly accepted it. But when I go into a chat, people are like, I'm sick of hearing those, like not an hour before the stream, I was like, oh, my icon is right below the term kidult. And people are like, I'm so sick of that term, Ken. We're so sick of that term. I'm like, you know what? I don't really like the term either. It's a little cheesy, right? But I've like grudgingly accepted it. Just because it's like, well, I guess we're rolling with it right now, and okay, like that's my thoughts on it.
Absolutely. Right. Mike over at Mike Tiberium Hanger
Mike
is saying a term, a normie. Okay, I thought it was like Norm, from Cheers.
Okay,
Norm from Cheers. Normie uses. Okay, a newbie, right? A term a normie uses. All right, normal people. Got you.
Yes.
Got you. I understand now. I get it. Right. A normie. That's what he's saying. Obi-Wan is in the house. Kawabunga Dude is in the house. Jordan from Canada is in the house. Gamer Bud is in the house. Chris Allen. Hey now. Hey, Chris. What's going on? Frankie Rivera. Good to see you, brother. Eric Mendez. What's going on, brother? Merry Christmas to all the community. Absolutely. Ronimus Prime 1982. Hey, Jay. Merry Christmas from Massachusetts. Of course, my friend. I hope it's not too cold down there. Duchess Darkness. Good to see you again. Mark Riddell. Frankie Rivera, happy holidays, Jay and Chad. Of course, my friend. Duchess of Dark, Ray is saying hi. So is Duchess. Pop Actor Rick. Yeah, sorry, Pop Actor. We're not calling him Rick anymore.
Yeah, I wonder if it was the same person, but I guess it is. So.
I can't find my way home in Ottawa with the snow and wind. Oh my gosh, I hope you're doing all right, brother. Drive safe. Don't don't pull off on the side if you need to take a break, because it is crazy out there, and in the pitch black, not cool. Nolan's good. Nolan's back in the house. Master Versal Toy Hunter again. Chris Allen, Frankie Rivera. Anybody else we haven't said hi to yet? Kyla Silva's in the house. Hey, Kayla, what's going on?
I was just talking to her on Discord earlier.
Absolutely. So. She's ready for the holidays. She's absolutely ready for the holidays. Duchess of Darkness again. Roland Embry, good to see you, my friend. Anybody else that we haven't seen? Whoa, Chris Allen, minus 23 Fahrenheit wind chill. What are you talking about, Chris? That doesn't even compute. What is that? What is minus? Somebody help me out here. What is minus 23? Hold on. Minus 23.
You keep saying hi to the chat. I'm going to find out what minus 23 Fahrenheit is.
I just found out. Minus 30 degrees. That is crazy. That is
Nuts.
crazy.
A little nuts.
Chris, I hope you are layered, my friend. Ronald Embry is here. Machine Man went out on the road, was treated but empty. Oh my gosh! I hope you're all right, Machine Man. Did you get in an accident or something? I hope you're okay. Oh no, you're talking about hunting. Okay, if you're hunting, yeah, I know. It's the last bit of the. It's the second last day. It's Christmas Eve. It is hard to find anything out there right now. Although I found a few things. I did find a few things. Cranky Vera, it's 8 degrees in Philadelphia. That's still pretty cold. That is still pretty cold. That's around 1 or 2 degrees, right? I think something like that. Actually, no, it's minus. Wait, 8 degrees is minus something. Hold on, 8 degrees
Celsius.
Yeah, that's minus 13.
Yeah.
Holy crap, that's crazy. I can let you check out the degrees from now on.
Yeah, I can always plug it into my phone here.
It's all good. Chris Allen, Merry Christmas, everybody. J Diorama, what's up, my fellow Kidults? God, that just makes me cringe.
It does. Like the more I hear it, the more I cringe. Yeah,
that makes me cringe so much. It gives me the goosebumps. It's just ridiculous. Anybody else we haven't said hi to yet? Everybody seems. I think we're. Oh, yeah. Extenders in the house. Not bothered by it. Okay, Extender's cool with it. Some people are going to be cool with it. You know what I mean?
And I know some people are typing my name in there. If I don't say hello to you, it's because I don't have the ability to type in there right now. And if I boot up my phone, it'll play the audio through my microphone.
Feel free to shout people out, though, Ken. Don't
yeah, no, there's a lot of just it's a wonderful community, right? Yeah, so I just see getting some love in the chat. If I can't respond you, I appreciate it. I'm reading your messages.
Absolutely, but feel free to shout somebody out. Rob V. It's an insult to assault. It's an insult to assault collectors.
Adult collectors.
Okay, there it is.
Yes.
I was like, what? Yeah, okay, you got it. You got that. Rob V says it's an insult to adult collectors. I don't know if it's exactly an insult, but what they're trying to make it more jazzy. They're trying to find something catchy, and it's like we've been in this for so long, we don't need something to determine what we are, right? Like as far as I'm concerned, we're not the nerds, we're not the geeks. Like yes, we embrace the name geek, like with names like Geek Dad Life, Edge Retro Geek Out. There's so many people with that in their name, but we take it as an endearing term now. Like we are the cool kids now, so I think that's why we don't need a term like that. But if the industry is going to coin us that, they're going to coin us that. I agree. So. Nolan says hi. Ken. Kayla says hi. Jordan says Ken Konnections. Duchess of Darkness says hi.
Jordan's
Ken.
Great. Yep.
Frankie Rivera says yo Ken. Everybody's saying everybody's giving the Ken love. Bullwinkle 80. It says hey send me a link. Okay, I don't know. I'm not. Do you wait, Bullwinkle? Do you want to join?
Is he talking about a StreamYard link to join, or what's he talking about?
Did you want to join? I'm. You'd have to contact us somehow. I don't know. Let us know if you want to join Bullwinkle. But anyway,
unless Bullwinkle is what's his name on another account,
maybe
who joins us sometimes on. T-Fan page 101, maybe that's who he is.
Maybe. Yeah. Yo, Josie, my bills and my job say I'm an adult. that's a good one. Danny Phillips in the house, 6 a.m. and I'm still awake. Good morning, Danny. Good morning. Anybody else? Pop actor Helium Dread, 25 in Texas. That's not bad. 25. Actually, that's hot. That is really hot.
You might be thinking Celsius though.
Oh yeah. I was about to. Oh no, -3. Okay. Wow, -3 in Texas.
Yeah.
That would be wow. That's not cold, but that's still cold. Vivi is the chosen one, late to the game. But what's your New Year's resolution? What's your New Year's resolution, Ken? Since we're
okay. Complete Boulder Hill, because literally one of the reasons I was muted coming on here was I was piecing together a Boulder Hill and trying to take pictures for a friend about what I was missing from Boulder Hill from Mask. That's why I was muted, and I was taking photos as Jay was getting ready, and I'm like, sorry, I haven't had time to do this all day, and I'm just going to do it in the last 2 minutes before the stream. So, New Year's resolution: complete Boulder Hill, I guess.
Hilarious. Bob Wave is in the house. Hey, chat, going to be 80 in LA tomorrow. Oh, yeah, I'm so envious of you, Bob Wave. I am so envious.
I'm not a hot weather person. So
I love the heat. I'm not a hot weather person, but I'd rather have heat than cold.
I'm the other way around. Give me this cold weather over the hot weather any day of the week.
Fright Zone. What's up, Jane K? Ken? What's up, Jane Ken? I prefer adult collector. Kidult doesn't sound right. I agree. That's my preference for sure. Ray Black, I swear I heard Kidult before. Well, you probably did somewhere. I have not. That's something I've never heard of. Addy Boy, yo, what's going on, Addy Boy? Danny, Kidult is a film in UK. That's interesting.
Kidult,
Tell us more, Danny. What's it about? Or is it not safe for work? Let us know. Timmy K, Poindexter Junior Esquire. So many live streams today. I guess I didn't realize that there were a lot of live streams going on. Jojo C, Target Lady. These are nice toys, but you're buying for your kids. Me, I don't got kids. I don't got kids there for me. Target Lady. What's going on? Yeah, that happens a lot. I mean, you tell. I just sometimes I just don't even bother. I just say, yeah, it's for my kids. I don't even bother just because it takes longer in my experience. If you try to explain what you're actually doing, it takes longer. Just let them think whatever they want to think. That's just me. I don't know. What's your experience, Ken?
Drawing a blank. Is that okay? My experience is drawing a blank.
I know it. Aaron Hardy says, "I like how Jason said marketing genius, not idiot." Well, I mean, it's an innuendo. I'm implying something. Diecast Fly, what up, Jay and Ken? Happy holidays. Happy holidays to you too, my friend. Extendar, 27 degrees, not bad. Yeah, I have to say. Kayla, I wish I was back in New Zealand right now. Visit them hobbits, Kayla. Visit them hobbits. Anybody else? Space Boy G78. Hey, Jay and Ken. Merry Christmas. Also, the best for you. The best to you for 2023. We're not quite there yet, Space Boy G, but we're getting there, my friend. We're getting there. Yeah. We're gonna be there very, very soon. Frank Guerrero, love the community, of course. Gwildor, Merry Christmas, family. Merry Christmas, Gwildor. Good to see you, brother. Ray back, moo. I mean, Merry Christmas. Andrew Davis, nothing but patience with you, Jay. Just trying to defend the porch pirates. I don't even have a porch. Oh my gosh, there's another problem. Bah humbug to everybody who's doing that. My gosh, just terrible. Oh, look who's here. Masters of the Mini Comics Attribute. What's going on, brother? Hey, y'all. Jay, thanks for being live. Hope you don't mind premiering my Thundercats crossover tomorrow, 11 a.m. Pacific. Duchess, get ready. You're all in if you want to go. Send me a PM on Instagram, brother. If you want to jump on right now, I'm happy to send you the link. I think somebody else wanted to jump in, but again, if you want to jump in right now, let me know. Gwildor, moo. Nolan says Gwildor. Anybody else I haven't said hi to yet? Pickle D. I'm a proud Kidult.
Oh yeah.
Again, some people are gonna own it.
Some people embrace it, right?
So own it. Addy Boy, I don't mind Kidult. I mean, the toy room is basically everything I wanted as a kid, but as an adult. You know what? I see where people are coming from. It just doesn't sit well with me. I'm just gonna be honest. Retro Boy 1 375. Howdy, brother. Good to see you. Good to see you, Retro Boy 1. Long time no see. Obi-Wan, what's going on? I've also subscribed to Ken's channel after discovering him here. He's great. Exactly.
And you are appreciated, and you are most welcome in the live chats, on the channel, whatever you'd like to do.
And guys, if you haven't already, please head over to Toy Konnections on YouTube, subscribe to his channel, give him a follow, because honestly, he does a lot of great retrospectives on toys. And heck, he's been on the radio. Come on. Yeah, he's been on the radio. That is somebody who's been proof positive. You gotta go with that. MIS1 Space Sumo is still available. Oh god, are you serious? I didn't even realize that. Toru Okiwa. Okiwa. Toru Okiwa. Just got me a Tony Toy Chopper one piece figure. Nice. It was $20, but better than a lot of my other more expensive figures. Omedetou gozaimasu, Toru. Yes, congratulations, Toru. That's excellent, my friend. Machine Man shopping. Oh, good. So you came up empty. I understand. It's okay. It is the Christmas Eve. There aren't that many deals to be had anymore. People have the McFarlane deal at Toys R Us, 40% off. People just ransacked that place. I don't know if anybody saw that in my last video. They ransacked it.
Oh, the one that premiered today.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was just absolutely nuts. Thanos Copter, what's going on? Hey, everybody, I can't stay long. Working in the morning. Just wanted to pop in and say Merry Christmas, Jay, Ken, and Chad. Thank you.
Merry Christmas,
Thanos Copter. Merry Christmas to you too. Jamlin. Jamlin.
Jamilin.
Jamlin. I think it's Jamil. Jamlin. Holy crap! I apologize, my friend. Jamlin.
Jam.
Jamlin. I think it's Jamlin. Jamlin Parks. It's an insulting term that insinuates we are childish. I am childish.
We're good.
I am childish, though, Jamlin. I am childish. Please let me know how you wish to pronounce your name, because it's such a unique name, and I really want to pronounce it properly. But I am childish, so I'm indifferent towards it. I just don't like it when somebody says it to me. So I think that's where in that sense, I guess I don't like it. But I don't look at it as insinuating anything, honestly, gentlemen, because I am childish. That's just the way I am. Obi-Wan, Chris must live in Chicago, maybe. Anybody else hasn't said anything? Okay, well, here we go. Jordan from Canada. Jane, Ken, you were two of my favorite commentators. Thank you, my friend. I would love to see you both in the documentaries based on pop culture Motu and the formation of the YouTube community. I guess.
Which one of us is color commentary? Which one of us play by play? So, but you know what though? Like, if you do want to see a documentary of a Canadian, I mean, there is Action Figure Adventure, right? That Jay Bartlett. Right. So I mean, that's kind of like the modern day toy hunter, and it's not buying to flip. Not that I have a big issue with that, but I'm just saying that there is that, right? So
there is that,
and I'm trying to talk to Rob, the producer. Hey, come out west, come to Toy Traders. I'll go with you. Just just passive aggressively throw me on camera. And he's like, but I said that to him during the pandemic, and he's kind of like, okay, one thing at a time, Ken. So.
Well, we'll see what happens. Maybe, I've been meaning to get Jay on the stream for a while, so hopefully we'll be able to, like, too many Jays, man. But it's all good.
Jay Bartlett, Mega J, Geek Dad Life, Jay Gladfelter.
We're all welcome. We're all welcome. ZZ in the dark. Sorry, ZZ in the dark. I've been wondering about them that term again. Media just doesn't get it. It's not like people with hobbies are hurting anyone. I don't think they're implying that we're hurting people. Actually, I think that they're implying that we're increasing the toy market as a whole. So I don't know if anybody's implying anything really. I don't feel. Ken, what do you feel? Do you feel it's a derogatory term yet?
I don't think it's meant to be, and I think it's coming across like it is. So if someone was like, hey, you're a kidult, I'm not going to correct them, but I'm not going to thank them or necessarily look and be like, yeah, me right here. Or just like when people say geeks, like, like nerds, culture, I don't turn and look. I'm kind of like, all right, whatever, right?
Crazy. All right, the chat has literally gotten away from me. Sorry, guys, I'm literally just gonna have to.
There's a few people there, like Hung Wen and Treasures for Trigger, who came in just now.
I'm literally just gonna go and find people I haven't said hi to yet. Fish Tropics is in the house. Jamlin and says, he's talking to people. Jose Aguilas, 52 in San Diego. Wow. Of course, it is San Diego. Anybody else we haven't said hi to yet? I think we're okay. Bob Wave is here.
You have to go way down.
Yeah, I know.
Almost to catch up to where
it's
the
crazy.
Is, so.
Like everyone's having side conversations, which is great. Night 1, 10 degrees where I live, and 45 mile per hour winds, I think, have been getting rocked a bit. Wow. I hope you're safe, my friend. Take care. Don't go out there if you don't need to. Don't be like this guy here. Anybody else? Bloodsport 1. One more day. Yes, one more day, my friend. Wondar 10. I love that name. Merry Christmas, guys. Merry Christmas to you too, Wondar. Phil D. Jay. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you too, Phil D. Rufus Roger, what's going on, brother? Good to see you. I'm a happy adult. Hell, 15-year-old with way more mature than me, brother. You and I are in the same boat. I just don't like the term. It's just me. Brian 12. Kidults feel like something less insulting version of man-child, I think. I guess that's debatable, but you know what? We have a whole night to talk about it. Legend Odin's son. Hey, Jay, late to the show. What's the definition for kidult? We're going to get to that. I actually have brought it up, believe it or not. And I actually know a little bit more history, too. TF Thruster 2021. Hey, Jay, it's 21 degrees in Texas. Yes, that's kind of cold. Holy crap. Jordan Bullow. Jordan Bullow. Merry Christmas, guys. Merry Christmas to you, too, Jordan. Eric Bradshaw. Kidult is dumb, but it's better than AFOL. I don't know that. Can you look that one up? Ken, look that one up. Good to see you, Eric.
You know, I might not like what I find, but sure.
Maybe, but that's why you use the
Yeah.
incognito window. Treasures for Tiger.
Phil the man. Treasures for Trigger. My good
Absolutely.
buddy.
Good to see you, Treasures for Trigger. Merry Christmas, Jay and Ken from Japan. Good to see. What time is it over?
He's about 7 hours behind me, so it'd be about 3:30 in the afternoon where he is, right? Phil's one of my best friends, so it's like I know exactly what time he's in.
Okay.
A full adult fan of Lego.
Oh, adult fan of Lego. Okay.
That's what it says here.
All right. Well, there you go. That's it. Anyway. Anyway, konnichiwa. Good to see you, my friend. Rhea Black. I think it's Jamie Lynn. He had a friend with that name. Okay. HD06360. Hey, Jay, I've been watching you for a while. They do have that Star Wars figure here on clearance. Wow, that's excellent, my friend. Holy crap. Wish we had clearances like you guys do down there. Retro Boy 357. Well, wish you guys a Merry Christmas. Have a good one. Everyone here and many blessings. Keep on collecting, but catch those deals. Merry Christmas to you too, Retro Boy 1. We'll see you soon. Anybody else? Here we go. Brian Durgan. Oh, we're almost there. Rather be a Kidult than a Kryto bro? Kryto bro? I don't know what Kryto bro is. All right, Brian, I don't know what that is, but okay. Kidult, again, some people are definitely going to embrace it, some people aren't. Master of the Mini Comics. Hey, thanks for the invite, man. Bit late for me. Posting my stuff right now to advertise the premiere. Merry Christmas to all, Ken, and see you, my man. Good to see you, brother. We'll see. Merry Christmas to you too, and Happy New Year if we don't see you. Hyung Yugen, good to see you, my friend. Anybody else?
Timothy Hayes is in the chat.
Okay,
as well. Toy Gallery's in the chat. I think Tim Hayes is the same person who's a moderator of like 10 different channels that I've seen. Might be the same Tim Hayes. I'm pretty sure it's
Maybe.
him.
FA's in the house. Tim Hayes. Good to see you, my friend. Is that him?
Yeah, I think it's him. But
okay.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Hyung again, Jamlin. People who literally play games for a living are respected and called athletes. I know, and they are kidults, though. I mean, that's actually what it is. Starkiller Base. Hey Jay, great in Santa style. I think adults don't do much for the industry as in numbers, but the industry is making adults with their prices because the prices would. Yes, this is true. And we're going to get into that. We definitely are going to do that. Tim at MJR Collector, you're lucky to still have full Toys R Us in Canada. We just have dinky little stores in Macy's now in the US.
Yeah,
I say it all the time. We are very, very fortunate to have Toys R Us, but there's been a casualty in British Columbia. Ken, what's been going on in British Columbia with Toys R Us?
I almost stuttered on this one, but you're right. Out in Victoria, near where Cherry Bomb Toys is, they shut that one down, but that's on Vancouver Island. I guess that's better business for small shops like Cherry Bomb Toys, right? Who, if anybody sees the Ralph Muppet who jumps on my stream sometimes, I totally gank that from their owner. He does the exact same thing.
Absolutely.
Anyway,
well, you know what? R.I.P. Vancouver.
Victoria Toys R Us. The one 5 minutes from me still here. So
Victoria Toys R Us.
I'm good.
It was the biggest one, though. Apparently, according to newspaper reports, it was news reports.
Probably because I think they only had one.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah.
Michael McNally, Merry Christmas. Good to see you guys live streaming. Thank you so much. Good to see you, Michael. Toy Gallery, Merry Christmas from Australia. Good to see you, Toy Gallery.
That's a great name. I run a Facebook group called Canadian Toy Gallery. Toy Gallery is a great name. I just want to say. When I saw that, I was like, yes, someone gets it.
Virtus El Honos. Merry Christmas, Jay. Glad you didn't freeze your ass off in Canada. Brother, we do that every day and Sunday. Brian, good to see you, brother. Brian 12. Yeah, Kidult does sound cuter. I do like how the articles seem to paint them in a positive light, helping out the toy industry and all. The messages on the articles, on the other hand, yeah, I know. Again, it's divisive. Unfortunately, it's become a divisive thing. Tim Haynes says, I'm an adult collector, but Kidult isn't insulting to me. This is true. I find the same thing. I just don't like it attributed to me. That's just the way it is. Hyung, Merry Christmas to you too, brother. Jarhead, happy holidays, everybody. Jarhead. Master Versal, my goodness, thank you so much for the $3 New Zealand super chat. Thank you so much, brother. I really appreciate that. Thank you. I think we're almost at the end, guys. Natural Nate Marvel. I hear my neighbor being called a big ass kid, allegedly. You're looking at two of them right here, brother. You're looking at two of them right here.
Well, not a very big guy, but yes, I can be a big kid. I'm big compared to my 7-year-old.
Figureverse. I've been collecting since the '90s. Merry Christmas to all. That's amazing. Good to see you, Figureverse. One more from Tim Haynes. I don't
There we
moderate.
go.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't moderate chats normally, but at Toy Collections, you might know me from.
I think I haven't seen him in this chat before, so I was like, "Hey, I know that name," and I
There
see
you
him
go.
exactly on other channels. And
Exactly.
Gen X Toys Geek
Yep.
actually sponsors my StreamYard, so we got a common friend in Jody there,
Yeah,
and
yeah. Chasing Toys, Analog Toys, Retro Blessing, great channels to all around. Batfan One, rather be called a kidult than a geek or nerdy in my 40s. Really? I'm the complete opposite. I want to be called a geek. I want to be called a nerd. I want to be called all those types of things because I own that. Kidult, though, I think that's the thing. I've been so used to being called a geek and a nerd that kidult just rubs me wrong somewhat. Jordan Bullo, I like your collection, Jay. I love you. Thank you so much, my friend. I appreciate that. I was going to say, I'd love to see your collection. Vicman DeSantos, very Merry Christmas, guys. Mexico is not really hard to get toys, but they're very, very expensive. Yeah, I know. It's tough for a lot of us. Monica the Great, Merry Christmas, guys. Merry Christmas to you, too. And I think we're pretty much there. All right. So, Ken, let's get to the real meat of what we're talking about. Good to see everybody. Thanks again for all the well wishes.
And I do want to answer Aaron Hardy's question there. Did Cherry Bomb Toys find a new location? Yes, it's about 5 minutes from where they are now. I haven't been there because I got to take the ferry to get there. So there is that. And Boba Wave likes the fact that I use the word ganked. Says I'm an original gangster. I've never called an original gangster in my life. So I appreciate first time for everything and that you did it publicly so I can be acknowledged as an OG. Yeah, I haven't heard the word ganked since the 90s. It's like when my friend once said, that girl, she's so hot. She's a babe. And I'm like, I haven't heard the word babe since 1997. Like since Baywatch was off the air.
I hear babe. I still hear babe off.
I hear it when someone is calling their partner.
Yes,
like,
exactly.
But I don't hear like, what a babe.
That's what
I
was about to
say. Right. Ever since those 90s shows went off the air.
It's an intimate term now. It's no longer a term of, hey, she's good looking, right? That's not the way it works.
And Tim Hayes, yes, I did see you in the chat in the chat there earlier.
Do you remember me? Call me whatever you want, just not late for dinner. There you go, brother. Natural Nate Marvel. Is being called a kid alt better than a toy addict. You know what? Again, I'm not turned off by either term. I just don't want it attributed to me. That's I don't know. Maybe I am turned off by it. I don't know. Pedro Lopez. Good Merry Christmas, my friend. Good to see you. All right, so let's get into this. Let's get into this. All right, guys. But before we get into this, guys, I do want to give a shout out to the patrons and channels members who make this channel possible. Thank you guys so much for all your support, guys. Princess Cagley, Old IT Guy, RobberKen33, Joseph Michaels, Gamer Bud, Maniac Plastic Toy Shop, Jordan Canada, Schwartz Math, Snell World, Skyfall, Emma Toy Canada, Palpatine 1975, Tresk Schnan 37, Smoked Ham, Efren Rivera, Rufus Rogers, Nolan, John Joker, Sir Clifton, Terrence St. John, and Osmandius and Ozstradamus Toys. By the way, there are 2 Nolans who are Patreons now. But thank you guys so much for all the support you give to this channel, guys. The Patreon supporters of this channel really help us to make wonderful episodes every single week. But all of you guys are the best for always supporting, liking, commenting, subscribing. Yeah. Thank you so much.
I just love how I look at this and I see a few of the same names over on my Patreon and channel memberships, and I look at the names in the chat, and they're the same names that are in Geek Dad Life and Toy Anxiety, and same people who are commenting on Mad Hatter, and there's so many of the same people. It's like one amazing community.
Such a
generous or all the channels that Tim mentioned as well.
Absolutely. So generous. As a matter of fact, Palpatine 1975, Merry Christmas to you guys and your families. Happy holidays. Happy holidays to you too, Palpatine 1975. Thank you so much for that. Jordan from Canada, 2 Nolans. That's great. You can't have enough Nolans. You cannot have enough Nolans. But on to the topic of the day. So, what is a kidult? I mean, you see this moron here. He's hoarding all his toys, right? He's got 2 Voltrons, not just one. He's got 2. One of them's on loan, which has to be returned, by the way. And he's even got a Megatron in his hand. You know what I mean? Like, who is this? Who is this guy? Who is this idiot? Right? So what is a kidult? I mean, like, does it only mean that you collect toys? And I think we really got to define that, because if we go onto the and this is never really a good source, if we go onto a Wikipedia, the definition by Wikipedia is
It's
So,
there.
yeah,
It really exists.
I know it really does. Um, a kidult is an adult whose interests or media consumption is traditionally seen as more suitable for children. It can also mean a parent who acts childish with their children but does not take on their duties as a disciplinarian. Similar portmanteau terms for such people are rejuvenile. Okay, now that kind of is kind of an adultescent. What the heck? A related concept of that of Peter Pan syndrome. Get the hell out of here. Where persons is reluctant to grow emotionally old after childhood. You might as well be calling us Michael Jackson. Like seriously, what the heck? All right. So apparently, that is the Wikipedia term. But just for some shits and giggles, what does it say on Urban Dictionary? What does Urban Dictionary say about kidult? Kidult is a term. Kidult is an adult that prefers items that society deems for a younger person. An adult who plays with toys or games could also be an adult who wears clothing as like that of a teenager or younger or a younger person that would typically wear. That was termed by Bob O'Keefe in 2000 and 2005. Um, so if we break this down a little bit more, the term kidult was first used in 1950. What? It was first termed in 1950 by the television industry to refer to adult viewers who enjoyed television programs targeted at children. Thunderbirds, for example, was designed specifically to capitalize on this kidult demographic and aired in the evening rather than the afternoon to accomplish this. What the heck? Here we go again. Cases of Peter Pan syndrome and the kidult mentality is Michael Jackson. Again, this is where things kind of got the negative connotation for kidult or Peter Pan syndrome, which is I think ridiculous. Modern usage in the early 21st century, there's a sudden increase, and they're reporting that adults have interested in traditionally expected only for children, not necessarily as an anomaly. This is mostly due to the rise of the entertainment industry, which has quickly recognized the trend to introduce special category kidult of things marketable for kids and adults alike. Enormous success of films such as Shrek, Harry Potter, My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic. Oh my God, the bronies. Young adult fiction books. The fact that Disneyland is among the world's top adult without kids vacation destination seems to indicate that adult kidulthood is rather mainstream phenomenon. This is crazy. This is crazy. What are your reactions to this, Ken? Like, do you agree with what's being displayed here as a definition for kidult?
I didn't realize it was so technical.
I didn't realize that it was the 1950s. You know, the advent of television. Like wow.
And everything about Peter Pan and all that in there. I'm just like, I think we've dived down this topic a little more than I ever expected to the point that
hole that
I'm kind of like, I think I want to save some brain cells for the next video. So,
but your initial reaction, are you shocked by this? Are you put off by this? Like, you know, the idea of Peter Pan syndrome. I didn't even know that was a thing, right? Actually, that's not true. I heard about Peter Pan syndrome when they were talking about Michael Jackson, because when the whole controversy about Neverland started, you know, with the kids and stuff, they talked about Peter Pan syndrome a lot in that in that report. But repurposing that now for kidult, it makes me feel dirty. You know what I mean? It really does. And on that context, what are your thoughts?
Everything you just said, all of a sudden wraps it around, brings it full circle.
I mean,
and it's just kind of like, okay,
I need a shower.
Yeah,
I need a shower. You know what I mean? I need a freaking shower, man. Like, seriously.
I was gonna wash the product out of my hair later on, but I think I might just take a full on shower after.
It makes terms like geek and nerd and
let's go back to that.
Yeah, it makes it seem almost preferable. You know what I mean? Which is why I always say geek proud, because I am geek proud. Right now, we're getting into terms like kidult. and the connotation behind it is more negative in my opinion, because they're lumping it with things like Peter Pan syndrome and Michael Jackson. Right now, I have nothing against Michael Jackson. I think he's definitely, whatever happened. Okay, and it's never been, truthfully, it's never been proven.
He's
wink,
bad,
wink, right?
Wink,
But
wink.
I know he's just bad, right? But the reality is, he was a kid at heart, just like me, right? And I cannot fault him for that, right? But I think kid at heart is actually a wonderful term. I think that kid at heart is an amazing term, right? And I think Toys R Us really summed it up. I'm a Toys R Us kid, and I don't ever want to grow up, and that rings true to today. But your overall thoughts are you're not in on it, then, Ken.
If that's what it implies, then for the technical term, definitely not in on it. As it's starting to become more of an everyday, like, passive term, it's a grudging, all right, sure, I can't do anything about it, so go ahead and use it, whatever. If I hear the name on the street, I'm not going to go running, but I'll know what you mean.
Yeah,
right?
I know.
And if I could purge the word, I would. Like, I prefer not to have it now, especially after seeing that. So, like, I went from grudging acceptance to, like,
But people sometimes own words, right? And then they change the narrative of it enough, right? I just don't feel that it's something that I want to own. You know what I mean? I feel like geek is still my term. Same thing, even nerd. I'll take nerd, but Kidult is just not my thing right now. It's just
I accept the words geek and nerd because ever since I've been collecting, we've been dealing with those words. But, like, I don't consider us, like, because geek and nerd is almost like a derogatory term.
They were, but now we're owning it, right? Like so many people are saying geek proud. So many people are saying geek dad life. Like the angry video game nerd. You know what I mean? There are people who have championed it now, right? And it's become more of a. It is actually mainstream now. You know, these terms, right?
I think we're the cool. I think we're the cool kids now, right?
Yeah.
And those who sit there awkwardly, like when the rest of us are trying to have a conversation about the latest Star Wars franchise or the latest Game of Thrones or the latest whatever. Not everyone needs to be in those conversations, but those who were pretentious and, like, I don't know, I'm cool, I'm a jock, and they know none of the franchises. Like, I understand, like, I'm not a Trekkie, I'm not a Doctor Who guy, but I know enough of the other franchises. But those who know none of them and go, I'm cool, I crushed that 6-pack. And I watch sports, but I don't really know the rules, but I want to see the UFC knockouts and I want to see tackles in football. Like, that's just a loser. Right? Like, they're not even worthy of being geeks or nerds because there's an intelligent thing.
But they're a sports geek, right?
Are they, though? Because I've met people who are like, yeah, I went to a Super Bowl party, I had so much fun. I'm like, oh, cool. Who won? Oh, I don't know. I was watching them tackle people. I'm like, so you're not even a sports geek.
Oh my god! No, I've met people like that too.
Yeah. Like they're like perpetual bandwagoners on, like, potential,
they're more into the violence. They're more into the hits, right?
And then they pretend to, like, buy expensive clothes, but the clothes don't fit, and then I don't know. They're posers. They're posers. That's what they are. Yes, yeah. Adult posers. I'm like, that's so much worse than. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway.
Esquili says we need a PhD economic anthropology project on this. Holy crap! yeah, to dig deep and figure out what is the etymology of Kidult, right? Like we've already started diving into that. That's just crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Ray says, I kid, he's wonderful.
Hey, look who popped up at the very bottom of the chat who was thinking about joining us.
Oh, hey, what's going on? Hey, Matt Harrison, the Hatter. If you want,
Preach, brother.
I can send you the link. Like, let me know if you want to join.
I'll send it to him. I'll send it to him right now. You keep going to the chat. Yeah,
that sounds good. Let's see here. Where else are we? Monica the Great says, "Don't grow up. It's a trap." That's awesome. Robert Ken, I still wear clothes that I wore in my 20s. There you go. Do you remember me? Sorry, you call me a Kidult in public. You're getting a black eye from me.
There you go. Now I'm starting to brush the term away. Now that I've seen the technical definition. Remember when we started the stream like 45 minutes ago? I'm like, it's okay. I'll grudgingly accept. Now I'm kind of like, Now that I've seen it.
Jordan from Canada looks down at his TMNT pajamas. I know, right? Just crazy. Gwildor, my Mondo He-Man came in today. Glad I checked my porch. Oh, congratulations, Gwildor. That's awesome, my friend. That's excellent. Who else is here? Buzzper One, Jay. What Guy King figure do you have? Oh, brother, you're gonna find out very, very soon. We're gonna do a full unboxing, my friend. It's gonna be crazy. Right, Ken. There's a Peter Pan syndrome. I know. I was shocked. It was a repressed memory of mine, and I just brought it back to the surface. Natural Nate Marvel. I'm having the kind of midlife crisis, and I'm open to all action figures and wearing all my exclusive sneakers. You are the definition of kidult, apparently. Oh my gosh. Frankie Rivera, MJ. That's too funny. Tim Hayes. Shrek isn't really a kids movie. Yeah, but that's what they're saying. Right? They're saying that they actually created it for kidults, which is kind of crazy. Right, Ken, I like My Little Pony and glowworms. You know what? There are a lot of people who like that. Night One. I still have many of my T-shirts from high school days, still 20 years ago. Absolutely, some of my favorite shirts are 20 years old. They're falling apart, but they are 20 years old. Healing Dread. Kidults going through kidulthood. This is gonna be bad. Jamlin. See what I mean? Whether the word itself bothers you or not, you have to realize those applying terms to view you, what exactly they're calling you.
Yeah.
Now that you're putting it that way, Jamlin,
that's a good angle to come at. That's when I started the stream, I wasn't thinking of it that way.
Ooh,
right?
Yeah, that's
what makes us what we are, Jay. Like we're not stubborn like that. Like our minds can be changed when presented with more information, So
I get it. I totally get it. Daquan Mellon, bro. They're counting 12 years old as kidults. If you look at the study, what
they are, because it was age 12 onward that was the age group in that study. So I'm sitting there, I'm like, really, like, because the headline is adults are the largest growing part of the industry of the toy industry, and then they defined it as age 12 and up, and I'm like, something's a little weird here.
Why would you do that?
Yeah.
Jordan Canada, I would love to be Mega J Retro or Toy Connections, two of the most intelligent, warm, and kind people I know. So I'm on the right track as well. Jordan, you are amazing. Thank you so much for being
here. And I want you to be Jordan from Canada. You can draw inspirations from Mega J Retro or Toy Connections, but you're gonna be our Jordan in the chat.
Absolutely, 100%.
That's what we love about you.
That's right.
Okay.
I love that coffee crisp. Do you remember me? I'm with you, Jay. I feel dirty too. Frankie Rivera, I feel so dirty. Toy Gallery. The whole Michael Jackson thing creeps me out. Quildor. Jordan from Canada. I'm wearing TMNT pajamas too. Palpatine. I know many kidults who are great people and intelligent beings having very successful careers and families. Geek proud. Thank you, my friend. And I agree. Now, Natural Nate Marvel. Jesus Juice. I hear you, brother. I hear you. Joseph K. Might as well call everyone who plays or enjoys games and sports kidults. I hear there is a layer to that for sure. 100% there is a layer to that. But we do have to again, what is the definition according to certain people. Wow. Thundercat State in the 85 $5 super chat. Thank you so much, my friend. I really appreciate it. Sorry, they will have to come up with a new term for middle-aged nerd. Merry Christmas. Thank you so much, my friend. I really appreciate it. You're the best, my friend. They probably, knowing them, they probably will. Natural Nate Marvel. Thank you so much for the $10 super chat, Nate. Merry Christmas, Merry Xmas. I'm a super third-party Transformers addict. Fans toys, dude. That is not cheap. And of course, there is the Fans Toys shelf itself, the great Fans Toys shelf. What is your favorite Fans Toys of all time so far, Ken?
I get the Jeopardy music going because I'm gonna pass. I see Perceptor right there, so I'm just gonna default. But
Bum, 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 it's over. It is over. Tiberium Hanger, the non-kidults are missing out. You know what? You're right. If you're going to put it like that, if you're going to own it, that's a good way to own it, for sure. Broman, ahoy, hoy. Ahoy, hoy, Broman. Good to see you. Tiberium Hanger, Jay, did you watch the 3POI podcast about this and lots of drama? No. I did not. I haven't. I haven't. I don't know what 3POA. I'm not really familiar with that. But you know what? Maybe I'll check it out. Pop Actor. We are the last adult generation to buy Motu toys. I doubt Mattel would sell Motu with the next adult generation to come, since kids of today aren't buying. You know what? You say that, but some of the people who bought these toys for their kids are actually having a great time with them. Pop Actor right now. I'm not going to try and contradict what you're saying. We could very well be the last adult generation to buy Master of the Universe toys. We could be, but I think there's still enough legs in us that we could actually see a third release just for us. You know, we'll be well into our 80s by then, but you know, you just never know. Anybody else who's actually got MKF30. I went to school dressed up at Halloween as Sub-Zero, and some dumb kid thought I was supposed to be a priest.
Oh,
That's an ouchie, man. That is an ouchie. You were
so next year you went as Scorpion instead of Sub-Zero.
I know, right?
Right, or Reptile.
Exactly. Frankie Rivera. We're so young at the world. We are so young at heart. The world would be a better place if everyone was like us. You know what? Thank you, Frankie. That's an awesome sentiment. Exactly. I totally like to think of that as well. Machine Man, geek and nerd seem to imply technology. You know what? There's a bit of that. There is a bit of that. But you know what? Geeks, especially geeks, are often associated with toys. Nerds can be gaming. Nerds can be a whole bunch of stuff. It can be board game. It can be pretty much anything. But I hear where you're coming from, Machine Man. Gwildor, I don't understand why it's such a terrible thing for adults to enjoy something that is harmless. I'm 42, love toys, and I'm geek proud. Thank you, Gwildor. That is amazing. Thank you so much. Figureverse. I don't want to grow up a Tony Stark's kid. Brother, that is the theme song. Matt Hatter, what up, boys? Fuck adult. I go by collector. No man has called me a geek or a nerd and live to tell the tale. you tell him. Matt Hatter. You tell him.
I was gonna say Hatter comes off as like anything but a nerd or a geek, but still very intelligent. You know what I mean?
All right. Yeah, we can't disturb the kid. The kid is
the boss. I got the same message on Instagram.
The kid is the boss. So. We cannot disturb the boss.
I totally understand.
Can't
100%.
Can't disturb
Dad Hatter.
If she wakes up, I'll jump.
Yeah, I got the same message on Instagram. So
all good, brother. All good. Merry Christmas and Happy Hanukkah to you too, my friend. Absolutely.
Happy Hanukkah, Hatter.
Railfan Paradise. I'm too obsessed with Voltron to say to actually do adult stuff. I love it. All right, you know what? We should get back to it. I'm just looking for anybody. Flipper Frank, yes, Natural Nate Marvel. Flipper Frank, 100%. Anybody else that we haven't said? Again, thanks Thundercats for the $5 super chat. Really appreciate it. Natural Nate Marvel, thank you so much. Addy boy, I'm a millennial, so I'm used to being called condescending names. Aw. Brother, you know what? I'm with you. I mean, I've been called a geek and a nerd all my life.
Technically, I'm a millennial too. I think we had this conversation.
Are we millennials? No.
No. It depends on the year you were born. I think I was born 1 year outside of the Gen X.
I'm 77. So.
I'm 82, right? I think 80 was the cutoff for Gen X.
You're a number. You're a number two. You're a number of years too far from.
I used to call people who were born in like 1994. I'm like, oh, you millennials, and then I looked up the age range. I'm like, what? I'm in that age range.
Funny how that works, right? Why are people so determined to brand people? Be you and be happy. Yes.
There we go.
That's absolutely the way it is. Mark D. Kidult is a dumb term. Besides, adults have all the money. HasLab based on price alone aren't targeting kids. Again, we are going to get into that right now. Titanium Hanger, Retro Blasting, Vala, and Analog on there. Okay, I'll definitely take a look. 100%. Thank you so much, Mike. Anybody else that we haven't? MKF says, I'd love to see a TMT Transformers crossover. I think they're doing one, technically. I've seen illustrations for a mecha TMT coming out, so I don't know if they transform, but I think it looks good. Danny 6, BVV Rodriguez. Merry Christmas, Jay. Merry Christmas, Danny. I hope you're doing well, my friend. Anybody else? So if you want to say something, Ken, go for it.
No. I'm just catching up myself by reading the sidebar of the chat.
Yeah, I'm just looking really quick. Tim was born... Dude, You're right there with me, man. We're suffering together. Don't worry. So Extendar, thank you for the $10 super chat, my friend. Extending some Christmas, dude. You are awesome. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Merry Christmas to you too. Phil D, Gen X, born in '77 too. Yeah, I know. That's what I was saying. I'm a Gen Xer. But I don't like those terms anyway. I think it's stupid. Robert Ken 33. I love being a geek. I love being a nerd. I love being a kid and enjoying it with the boys. Yes, live through your kids 100%, and then live as that yourself. All right, we're gonna get right back to it right now. Pretty sure there are more toys under the tree for the two kids. Extend our 1978 here. Natural Nate. Show Zed for life. Hilarious, brother. Duchess Darkness. Helian Dread. Hello. Mark D. 1976 here. I guess I'm the old guy in the chat. Brother, it's only 1 year removed. It's all good. Age is just a number, and I'm going to stick to that saying. All right, let's get back to it, guys. All right, so what I wanted to cover is this, and this is interesting. So, as discussed on Fox News, CNBC, and Fox Business, as well as a number of other news groups, and we're talking mainstream here. We're not just talking about fringe news outlets. They are saying that the kid phenomenon on the Ingram adult angle, kidults are buying toys for themselves, and it's the biggest source of growth for the industry. The growing kidult trend takes toy industry by storm. Santa isn't just making toys for kids this year. Kidults reportedly contribute to $9 billion a year in the industry, making up 25% of toy sales in 2022. Now, it's important to note that very specific number, 25%. So now we're going to get into this crazy little situation where we have to all put on our thinking caps here and try and decipher what's going on. So, Ken, first of all, your thoughts. What do you have to say to this incredible concept of this this statement that many of these news outlets are jumping on? What do you have to say?
It's that whole, what age group is it? If it really was age 12 and up, is it really that surprising that it was 25%? What was the percentage before? What was the number before? Like, you see numbers get thrown around all the time. Who's doing the study? I think we can visibly, as we walk into toy aisles and see more adults there, as we see boutique companies making toys targeted for people in our age group, I think we can easily derive the fact that we are a growing source of income, revenue stream, can I say that, for the toy industry. So where the number comes from, I feel a little fuzzy about that, like a bit of a gray area for me. I'm not surprised by the result. And also, what are you considering a toy? Like, are kids who play with video games, is that part of the toy industry or not? What's lumped in? When a Lego gets sold, did it go to an adult or a kid? If the parent paid for it while the kid is there, how did you know who bought it? Like, what elements went into the study is what I'd like to know, right? Like, a lot of times if I see this on a topic that I'm not passionate about, I don't challenge it too hard. I take the number at face value. And maybe there's a lot of people out there who are just taking the number at face value. But when I feel passionate, when I'm living, breathing it every single day, like I said, I'm trying to complete, a freaking Boulder Hill. You know what I mean? Like, I'm literally sitting here on a bunch of parts sitting right next to me, right? I'm not challenging it, but I'm wondering what's behind the curtain to arrive at that number. I'm glad to hear it, but I'd like a little more foundation to it, if that makes sense.
It does. But okay, so hopefully maybe this will help answer that query. So according if we read a little bit further down, it says several academics have dedicated their studies to the exploration of a phenomenon called Renaissance bumps, a period of time in which certain age groups have scientific tendencies to become more nostalgic for their past. Holy crap, Ken! They've discovered the secret. they have realized what's going on. That nostalgia is the strongest thing ever. And it looks like they're capitalizing on it. According to the group consensus, a young adult who reaches the age of 25 years old may be more prone to experiencing a reminiscence bump, while those in their late 30s, at age which more women are now having children, also trending towards
Okay.
nostalgia. So
Okay.
what does that change your outlook on that?
Yeah, I think this may have been like I was looking at the original part of the NBC article that mentioned the age 12, but I can relate back to that being 25. What was I doing? Which properties was I looking at? Because I was into toys, I was into comics at the same time. So if what they're doing is if they're honing in on that 25 and up, and then the start of the nostalgia in the 30s, okay, then I think they're gearing the study towards us, right? And I'm assuming they're talking dollar, like hard dollar figure, because some collectors, they'll buy a hot toy and it's worth $400. If they're tracking that, good on them. And I mean, maybe I'm not answering your question here, but it does provide a little bit of insight once you highlight that section a little bit. So I don't know. What do you think?
Truthfully, I think you're right. We need to. I keep hitting this thing. We need to narrow down what the focus of the study is. I mean, that's always thing. You can throw out terms to the nth degree to figure out exactly what's going on. But until you really narrow it down, because the first study was from 12 to God knows when, right? And that's kind of weird. Like I didn't think 12-year-olds were even teenagers. I thought teens started at 13. You know what I mean? Or is it they said 12 above 12? Again, it's a hard distinction, right? But this particular group, which was questioned, they are going from 25 and up. So that's actually quite.
And the thing is, you can really only track like retail items now. If I go and I wish I could reach the toy that I bought the other day. In fact, if you give me 10 seconds, I'll go get it. But here, I'll be right back.
Sure. While Ken is grabbing that, I did want to highlight this section here, and it's a very interesting.
All right.
It is important moment for the toy industry. This is from CNBC. It is an important moment for the toy industry too. With the holiday season upon us, while sales surged across the board for games, puzzles, and playsets during the pandemic, the first 9 months of 2022 saw a 3% decline in sales volumes, but higher toy prices helped outweigh these losses as sales revenues for the time period jumped 3%. The NDP reported. So that's interesting. Even though, and you know what, it's a cause and effect. Even though toy sales decreased, the increase in toy prices offset that. It's kind of like the housing market, where because even though less houses are being sold, because they're actually being priced higher, they did not see the overall profit didn't actually decrease. But is that good? Is that a good thing? Right?
Okay.
Are you pricing people out of the market now? Like,
okay, yeah. So you've gone back to the like real estate analogy, but like, look, are they just tracking big box retail sales for this? Because I bought this off another collector locally. It was a few $100s, and it's not an easy piece to get. Where did this sale get tracked?
No,
in that study.
They're only tracking. You're correct. That's
what I mean.
They're only tracking current sales figures. They're tracking the 2022 releases, the toy sales of the current year.
I'm sure some mom and pop shop overseas sold it to a collector there, who sold it to my friend, who imported it, who turned around and sold it to me. But are they tracking that mom and pop shop overseas?
There might be a difference.
They're not.
Yeah, there might be. I think you're right, but I believe if I'm going to extrapolate from this. I don't think so, but this group, right? I think these are the guys who are tracking that. You know what I mean? Those type of sales. But I think this is an overall blanket idea of what the industry is about, and it's mostly due to the toy sales for the current year. So it is interesting to say that. Now, this is interesting as well. Toys are resilient. Toys are a resilient category in bad times, says Hasbro CEO Chris Cox. Now, I have to say, not many collectors are big fans of Chris Cox. As a matter of fact, his namesake is being thrown around as a derogatory term. I mean, what do you say to that, though, Ken? This concept that toys are a resilient category in bad times. I'm not myself personally. I think he's dreaming. I don't think that toys are a barometer for anything at this point, especially since his own company is starting to price out many of us who are actually in the kidult demographic. If you want to go in that direction, what are your thoughts?
Jay, you might be thinking a bit about the Toys R Us prices here going up. Like I know they've gone up in the States. Like the toys that Hasbro is selling have gone up in the States as well, but we haven't seen that dramatic ×2 dollar amount in the States yet.
But I think what we have seen, both you and I, and it doesn't matter whether or not it's the exchange rate and whatever. I think the comments by many of the collectors in our communities cannot be denied. Everybody is saying, "I don't want to pay this. This is ridiculous.
Okay,
why is this so expensive?" Right? I know where you're coming from. That we in Canada are and New Zealand and Australia and Europe and everybody else outside of the mighty United States, who is creating these products, bar none, right? Again, they're gonna benefit from that idea. But the rest of us immediately, including the United States, are saying the same problem. We do not want to pay these prices, right? It's still sticker shock no matter which way you look at it. We've had in Canada 5 price hikes, as far as I can, as if I'm remembering.
It's about
the States is around 3.
Yes,
but each of their price hikes has still garnered a negative reaction every single time.
Every time. So what I'm going to say is that in the States, like some stuff went from like $21.99 to like $29.99, which is, I still like I cringe about it, right? But like in Canada, it's like the stuff that was, and I'm talking Canadian dollars now, went from $29.99 to suddenly like $54.99. Like you were just at Toys R Us recently, Jay. So you see that kind of thing. Now, regardless of what Chris Cox is saying about like toys are resilient during bad times, I don't know if he's talking about like, okay, if Hasbro's having financial hardships, he can always fall back on his toys. He might be talking in that context. But Jeremy Padower from Jazzwares had a lot to say about the toy industry growing in the adult age range as well. So there is further proof there aside from Chris Cox, because Jeremy Padower is, a highly respected individual. Right. I have a bunch of the AEW figures that he's marketed. So if he's saying it as well, then there's some truth to the context. But behind the context, what else is there? What did you do to get the information? Right. Or do we just take the blanket statement at face value? And it's only because we care so much about this industry that we're having this conversation. So
yeah, of course we do. But you know what? In correlation to that, can we definitively say that we are a growth in the market, or is it just because we as adults are expected to pay, 3 times the cost of a children's toy? You know what I mean? Is the entry level cost for an action figure, what's it called, appropriately priced, or is it taking advantage of the adult buying power? You know what I mean? Is this actual growth? Is this actual growth, or is it a new market that they want to tap into because of nostalgia? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so I think that there were always going to be price hikes due to the material prices and labor prices going up overseas. Now, whether the price went up by this much and then they go, this is a good opportunity to use that excuse, charge that much more, right? It almost smells a little fishy. Like there's something in the water that's making you go and say, they're just trying to get us because they know they can get us. I'm working on a toy line right now called Delta 17. I was just on the phone with the boss of that company earlier today, and I was talking tooling costs with him and just running some division on my calculator. I'm going, I think they can put and looking at the volumes we're looking at order wise and the volumes that Hasbro likely has, I'm sitting there going, I think they could put stuff out for cheaper. Couldn't tell you by how much. And even when I find out the numbers on my end with the small toy company I'm consulting for right now, they'd be confidential. But I would be able to say in black or white terms whether or not prices should theoretically be coming down. Now, I know there's the whole shareholder thing and trying to appease people who put stock into the company and trying to appease their profits. But at some point, the consumer walks away, and then all of a sudden you're not getting the profits because they just say, okay, I'm only going to buy up to here. and anything else I don't need. And then they'll have no choice but to either maintain the price till inflation catches up, or heaven forbid, drop prices or do more sales and more clearances. I think we're getting to a point where the bubble in the price hike is going to burst and people are just going to say, forget it. I'm just going to collect vintage, because there's a lot of people who collect modern stuff because they were priced out of the vintage. Well, as those same people get priced out of the modern stuff, they might say, why don't I just go and buy that expensive vintage piece? Right? Did I make sense there?
It did, but again, this particular I think this particular study is more about the current trends. But I do understand where you're coming from, and
hope I didn't go too far off topic there.
No, not necessarily. I mean, we are. It's still in the realm of what we're discussing. It's a different angle on it for sure.
Yes.
Collecting Star Wars is mentioning that those sales numbers include teenagers with the adult toy sales. They definitely include Lego. I think you're right. I think that the overall growth aspect of it, they're still going for the 13 to umpteenth age, because that's what they consider adults. Now it's very, very strange, but no matter what, there is a growth. There is a segment of that which is us. I mean that can't be denied, and I think that the probably a good portion of that is going to be higher profits because of the cost of adult themed toys. Robert Ken says, because adults have the money and buying power, whether they buy it for themselves or someone else, what does it matter? We should all be happy that the industry and business is growing to a certain degree, Pare. The real problem that we've been experiencing lately is that and we saw it in real time with all these HasLab projects. We can see that every time, pretty much in real time, as far as I can tell, every time they announce a new project, if 2 projects have been successful, they try to bump it up another $50. I showed the case this in multiple live streams, and it's a very, very encouraging to me that Transformers, and as I said, and I put this down as a footnote, has a partner involved with Takara, and because of that partner, they cannot dictate the price on that. They have to keep it low because Takara is saying our Japanese backers will not pay above this price. We know them. And that's actually really good for that portion of the industry, right? Whereas it seems wherever Hasbro goes, once they hit a certain plateau and they've reached a huge mark in their funding, they decide, you know what, we can risk another $50 on this. And we saw it with both the Sentinel and Galactus, $50 raises each time, and then finally it hit the plateau with the Ghost Rider project, and that was when people were like, screw this, we're not like. If you compare the Sentinel versus the Galactus versus the Engine of Vengeance, it's pretty easy to see that those three items are completely different. Doesn't matter the part count at that point. It's just the overall perceived value, and I think that that's really where it is. And the A/B testing that's happening right now, they're just testing the market. Will you pay another $50 next year? Will you pay another $10 on that action figure? If we go ahead and tick it up, and that I think is the thing about retail versus crowdsourcing, right? And in retail, we see it happening much, much, much more often because they can, right? And they're going to hide behind the excuses of, oh, we got licensing concerns, the shipping costs, the manufacturing, all this stuff. But I do believe that it's all wrapped up into a little bow to try and increase maximum profits. Ken, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on that, if you have any?
Loaded question, right? Like, where do you even begin to slice that? Maybe rephrase your question so I know exactly, so I don't meander and do this.
Basically, what I'm saying is, if I really had to make a point, right? Because Ken was saying that the growth of the industry is good, and I agree. I agree that the growth of the industry is good, but in terms of the way it's supposed to be done for consumers, the growth in the industry should mean savings for us. It shouldn't mean that we keep paying more for our toys. You know what I mean? If we're making Hasbro and Mattel billions of dollars a year, right? One would hope that those profits would come back to us, not us being forced to pay more.
Okay.
Again, but again,
all right.
I know how the industry works, and I've just laid out why they keep twisting that winch. They keep putting the pressure on us, right? And every single time it's like $1 here, $1 there. And in our case, it's $5 here, $5 there. It's just freaking ridiculous. So on that sense, because I think I lost you at one point, what are your thoughts on that part of the industry?
Yeah. Okay. Savings coming back to us from a private corporation.
Well, they are public. They're both public, actually.
Sorry, I mean, publicly traded large corporation is really how I should phrase it. But I'm trying to find out, like, in what universe would somebody ever go into those offices and say, "Oh, we should put the savings back to the collector," right? Hence why I always say grudgingly buying stuff, right? Like, maybe as they release more like 2-packs, 3-packs, 4-packs, and ideally when you see like a 3-pack or a 4-pack, you're hoping it's not just, okay, I'm buying a figure price times 3, figure price times 4. A lot of times I'm finding that that's exactly what they're doing, though. They're giving you that 3-pack or that 4-pack, and you're not really saving. You know what I mean? Like, I'm thinking if the savings come back to us, that's where it should come back to us. And it's not. So you just kind of pick and choose, and you're like, where can I cut? What am I willing to splurge on? How good or how bad do I feel? Like, it's almost like a trial and error process. Like, as the price goes up and I'm not getting the savings, I go and I buy it and I go, well, I didn't feel good about this one. You do it again, I feel a little worse every time. And then all of a sudden you're like, I'm not going to bite that next time. And the next thing you know, your attention went somewhere else. Maybe you go to a toy line that didn't spike as much, like Motu Origins. Right, you've always brought up in the past that the price hikes for Motu Origins have not been as bad as the ones for Transformers, for example, right, Jay? Right? So all of a sudden you look and you buy that instead. And as that starts to catch up and you're like, I don't feel like I'm getting the value anymore, then you go and you collect something else all of a sudden. Or you go back to vintage until you can adjust your mind and a new line comes out that you're willing to pay the prices for. It's a vicious cycle. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to say that what they're doing is outright wrong, because they're going to have their reasons why they justify it, they being the corporations, but we can control what we do, right? And if it means adjusting our collecting habits, and it's hard because we readjust our collecting habits. As a collector myself, I readjust every few months, right? And it's harder and harder to kind of like keep up with those trends, right? And I see my buddy Delta 17 in the chat there. I just shouted him out earlier on when I was talking like figure pricing. So I don't know. It's kind of where I'm going with it. Does that it makes sense?
No, it does make sense. But at the end of the day, they are a for-profit industry, right? They're not here to be our friends.
Exactly.
Right? They're not here to be nice to us. They're not here to be our friends. What they have on us, though, is a product that we want, right? I mean, G.I. Joe has come back n number of times, at least 6, right? That we can count in the modern age. We're not even talking about the original G.I. Joes from back in the 40s. 40s, sorry.
60s.
In the
1964 is what you're thinking.
60s, right? We're not even talking about them, right? Master Universe has had incarnations, 3 times, maybe close to 4 times over now. Right?
New Adventures, 2000X,
exactly,
200X.
But you know what? They just continue to revive these properties as they see fit, right? Transformers has never really left us. You know what I mean? It's always been in the public consciousness at some level, right? But
it's like John from Toy Geek said when I had him on my channel once. He's like, it's Old Faithful. It's always there. Yeah. Even when it's gone for a few months and then it's back. But like now, it's a lull until Rise of Beasts, but you still see it on shelves.
But one thing they've always maintained is a children's connection with that. Even
the robot aspect.
Yes, even if they create a separate toy line for it specifically, right? We're going through the Cyberverse. We just finished Cyberverse, right? Yeah. And now we're going into Cybertron something. What are the new ones called?
Not Rise of Beast, right? Are you talking?
No. It's Bumblebee. No, it's
someone in the chat will say I'm not good with the kid lines.
It's just hitting the stores now. It's apparently they're born on Earth. It's weird.
Yeah.
Earthspark?
I'm thinking the Legacy line for adults, but that's what I'm into.
No. I think it's Earthspark. Yeah. I think it's Transformers Earthspark or something like that. Mike V, AEW sucked. What?
the last few Dynamites have not held my interest, so I see where he's coming from. The last few. There's still moments though.
You know what though, that elite line, whatever it is, it's two figures in one. I don't know what it's called. But Britt Baker, she's literally got two different figures in the same package. It's crazy. I thought that was kind of cool. I don't know if it's called.
Oh, the Supreme series or
yeah,
whatever?
the Supreme series, right?
Yeah.
Like they got Cody Rhodes too. He's got an entire robe and then his wrestling outfit. It's crazy.
And he's now in WWE, so they licensed that figure like last year. So
yeah. Well, they're pushing it out whenever they can.
Earth Spark, Palpatine got it in the chat, and Balrog got it in the chat. Earth Spark, that's the new Transformer line.
There you go, Earth Spark. Rotax Hippie, rest in peace, Dorkside. So yeah, that's a whole other ball of wax that we can get into. We're not going to get into it today, but that in and of itself. Do you know the situation with Dorkside?
They basically put out an announcement, and well, first they started taking stuff off of their site. I've still got a package in transit from them that got delayed because of the snow. But yeah, and then they've shut down. They did their closing out sale last week. So, anything that's shipped out, I hope it makes it to me because there's no shipping it back.
Absolutely. Pop actor JR Ken. Why did Walmart raise prices on Motu figures that have been on shelves for 2 years? It used to be $14, now it's $22. That is a mistake. That is a mistake. My opinion, that's a mistake on. But the problem with Walmart is they are a huge corporation, massive. They do not really look at the numbers on that level. They either look at the moving trends or clearances. And unfortunately, they haven't done too many clearances of the last 2 years. But there's a good excuse for that, right? So the problem is that their entire product line for Kingdom, if you're going to look at Transformers, because it's easy just to categorize that. Their entire product line for Kingdom that still stays on the shelf, they actually did bump in price regardless, right? Which is dumb. Because in order to clear your stock, you'd think that they would have kept it at $22 or at $14 just to clear the stock, right? Because when the $22 rised, you'd think people would want to buy the $14 ones just because they're cheap, right? But instead, they raised everything up together and pretty much shot themselves in the foot.
Because it all goes in the same peg, right? Regardless of the wave.
That's right.
Right. It might have a different skew when you scan it, but the peg says Motu Origins.
Well, the area, right? The
whole area, yeah.
The area of Transformers is going to still be the
right,
same, right? But the problem with that is they're all going to go on clearance on the same time too. So it doesn't make sense. You're like the way it is in the U.S. is not the way it is in Canada. Here they'll just stay on the peg until they decide to sell it to a liquidation. That's how it happens in Canada. We don't get massive clearances. We'll start seeing them in Winners and in other discount Marshalls and all these other low what's it called, bargain
big lots in the US and
exactly. That's what you're going to see. And
Ross.
It's just terrible for them. And I don't understand, but they have the buying power to do that, so they don't really care, right? And it really is quite terrible on that level. Bad comment bot says $50 action figures is insanity. It might sound that way, but we're already there here in Canada. We're already there. You know what I mean? We're already there.
It depends on the size class of it. Like if you're buying like a deluxe class Transformer for $50, it's terrible.
Yeah.
If you're buying a leader class, it's okay. You know what I mean?
But I think he's referring more to G.I. Joe, where a G.I. Joe figure right now at Toys R Us is $45.99. Right.
So speaking of cutting the bar, that's why I don't do some of the sub teams, because I look at the $50 and I look at the vintage stuff I could buy, and I'm like, well, if I get, instead of buying two of those, I could buy one slightly higher end vintage one. Let's go that way.
Crocmaster is the poster child for that. He's literally now worse than the Baroness at this stage. Oh, sorry, no, not worse, but they are on the same level now. He is
$66.99 or whatever he was. Yeah.
That's the only reason why he's so expensive. Like it's just ridiculous. You know what I mean?
It's because of the Fiona Croc, right? Like they're gonna treat it like it's a whole separate figure. Whereas
it's a freaking motorcycle to them. You know what I mean? It's
right.
It's crazy. And she's got two little baby Crocs, right? It's stupid. Jonathan Chong. There is a concept of adults will pay the price that we set if they really want it. Then there's the factor of mothers will spend for their kids and they can grab the money. I hear what you're saying, Jonathan. I mean, like when you think, okay, so this in a lot of ways, we also got to look at the other side of the pond. If you want a Mafex figure, right, you're looking at $120. You know what I mean? And that's normal for some people who are collecting that. right? That's it. That's just what they're going to pay. You look at any of the other figures right now. Somebody mentioned earlier in the stream. I'm just going to bring it up really quickly. Actually, before I do that, I'm gonna. Where'd you go? There you go. I'm gonna star your comment. Somebody mentioned it really quickly just a second ago. Let me see if I can find it. There it is. Has anybody seen the Zezre Studio Fight for Glory Gladiators? The latest toy line that's getting my money. I am actually looking for them right now because they caught my attention. I'm a huge Gladiator fan of the original Gladiator movie, and they a lot of them do hearken to that, right? I don't think we're going to see a Maximus anytime soon, but seriously, I love the aesthetic. Very Motu, and they can almost fit in the Motu universe, just a little bit outside of that. I think they can really fit in the Conan universe. The problem is Conan's too big for them comparatively, or maybe not. We'll have to see.
Mythic Legion.
There you go. But Mythic Legions is like okay. So these two are actually in the same price. Oh, actually, no. Xeris is actually technically more expensive. Mythic Legions is expensive, but it's still in the mid range.
It's right? Boutique expensive, is what it is.
It is, but so is Xeres, right? Xeres. I think they're around like they're only about $10 difference. I think, if I'm not mistaken. Somebody can correct me. But this is the same idea, right? Super 7, right? Old NECA. When NECA wasn't in stores, they were around the same price point as Super 7. $55, no, $45 plus. Okay. And people were willing to pay it. Why? Because they were the figures that they wanted, right? And then you're going to go into the Japanese brands, right? You're going to go for the SH Figure Arts. You're going to go for the for the Bandai exclusives. You're going to go for the what's it called, the Mezco, right? These are all plus 100 figures, right? Plus, it's in some cases 150, right? And then if you really want to go crazy, let's talk about Hot Toys and 1/6. Right? I mean, some people talked about how their Mondo figures are coming in, right? As a collector, as a kidult, God, that makes me shiver. As these things, right? Where do we draw the line? What are your thoughts on that, Ken? I mean, you yourself are into third party. What does it look like for you for third party purchases at the plus $100 level, and where does it end?
It's been well into the plus $100 level for a long time. Like all this stuff up here, the Hot Toy stuff has always been in that $300 Canadian range, and now it's like $300 US range. I mean, I think your question is, where do you draw the line? It's okay. What you do is you start at the top, and I'm going to put out a video soon-ish in the new year called like collector tips, right? Give yourself an escape route. Right. And when I say escape route, if you're going to jump into a toy line, you're going to jump into a Transformer line. Don't just go in and impulse buy something that's sitting on the shelf. You control your purchase at that point in time. Don't just force yourself to walk out of the store with something. If you know you may not fully collect a line and you want to start Transformers, get Optimus, get Megatron. If you want to stop there, stop there. If you decide you want to keep going, get Soundwave, get Bumblebee, get Grimlock, and then you don't end up with something like I don't know, like Topspin and Twin Twist over here, where like if you don't really collect Transformers, you look at the toy on your shelf a year later, you're like, what line is that from? I forget, right? So where do you draw the line? Start at a smarter starting point. So when you want to draw the line later, you can say, I can draw the line here. I did it with Avengers. I started by getting, Captain America, Iron Man, Thor, Hulk, Black Widow, Hawkeye. Thought about, okay, Nick Fury, Spider-Man. And if I decide not to get, if I want to cut it off there and I don't want to get Falcon, Winter Soldier, Scarlet Witch, Vision, I can stop there. And it's a reasonable stopping point. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yes, of course, and you know what? I totally agree with you. Know your limitations. Know where your spending dollar has been spent wisely. I am all in on the Thundercats line completely, pretty much, right? I'm really debating Snarf right now because at that point I feel as if I'm being taken
because of the
advantage.
size, right?
Yeah, it's just ridiculous.
You're just not getting enough
Right?
plastic.
But it seems like the thought process is, well, you're getting a bigger Mongor, you're getting a bigger Ratoro, right? But you're getting a really small Snarf, you're getting a slightly smaller Willa and a tiny Snarf. So the other, as the set, they offset each other. But what if I don't want Mongor? I mean, he kind of turns me off, right? What if I only want Rataro, Willa, and Snarf? Right, I'm paying a huge amount of money for Snarf. You know what I mean? So there,
Yes.
it's that. At the end of and you know what? It's up to you. You know, what is it that you want? Do you want to pay? Like we could talk about all these other people who are naysayers and say, this is not worth this, it's not worth this, it's not worth this. But at the end of the day, everybody has something that they want, which is just completely overpriced. We know people are paying for Blitzwave Voltron $800 freaking dollars, right? Even people who've said don't buy this thing ended up buying it, right? And did reviews on it, right? I mean, this is just fact, right? We know that people are buying the His tanks. We know that people are going to buy this freaking Thunder tank. You know what I mean? It's all in what perceived value is makes sense to you. People were saying don't buy Eternia; it's a waste of money. It's valuable to somebody. It is a nostalgia to somebody. It means something to somebody. No one should ever tell anybody else, no, you can't buy that, because it's
Absolutely.
your choice.
It's absolutely your choice. Now, at the same time, though, don't get swept up in the hype. That's one of the things that I'm going to put out on that future advice video is Eternia. Why do people get it? It fills a gap for them. They couldn't have the vintage Eternia. It just makes sense for them to scratch that itch that's been sitting there for a long time. And their question is just, can I swing the funds now? Why this Eternia and not the vintage one that I know I probably won't be able to find anyway? If it's filling a gap for you, walk through the logic in your head, right? And like we talked about Thundercats just now. If you're not really sure you want to start Thundercats, what do? You buy Lion-O, you buy Mum-Ra. Maybe if you had a certain one as a kid, right? Maybe you had, I don't know, any character. I don't want to say Bengali because that was a harder one to get. But like if you had a certain character as a kid, if you had, say, oh gosh, Jaga, right? And you're attached to Jaga and you're okay stopping with just that if you decide you don't want to go any further because you scratched that nostalgia itch back to your childhood. Give yourself an escape route is always what I say, right? With G.I. Joe, I didn't just, when I got back into it in 2006 to recollect vintage, or 2003 even, I went and got the Storm Shadows of the world, the more iconic characters, Duke, Flint, General Hawk, right? So if I wanted to stop, I had the main characters, right? And that just goes back to my Avengers example a few minutes ago, right? And some people in chat are saying Eternia, they may have bought one to flip. Same goes for any crowdfund Mattel Creations or HasLab for that matter, right? There you go. Don't buy into the FOMO, right? You get into the FOMO when it's not FOMO. If that makes sense. Get it because it's a smart purchase for you, because there's nothing like having to sell something for a loss later on. And Lord knows I've done it a lot of times. My whole Toy Biz Marvel Legends collection was like that. So there you go.
The smart play in my opinion, and this is just my opinion. I'm not telling anybody what to do or how they should think. Don't buy toys to profit. It's not going to work. Toys have intrinsic value just like anything else. I mean, like, and people are being taken advantage of all the freaking time. What's going on with Wata Games right now is just absolutely ridiculous for anybody who's into purchasing retro video games for profit. They have just basically destroyed that market. Like there's a class action lawsuit happening right now. Who in my again, we are the geeks, we are the nerds. Who doesn't know that there are 1 million copies of Super Mario Brothers out there? Who doesn't know that, right? Now, of course, they're going to be the outliers. They're going to be the very first edition copies with non-broken tabs, right? Mint condition in the shrink wrap, right? Such a rarity, right? But is it worth $1.6 million? The answer is no. No. Right? You know what I mean? There are just too many out there. Yes, it hits all the marks for a great story. It is the revival of the video game industry, the most popular video game character in the world, right? The very first Super Mario Brothers game, right, from a test market which was doomed to fail, all right, and actually and instead made a bounce back and made $1 billion industry out of video games again, right? And arguably helped in the Kidult whole concept, right? Like pushing that idea, right? But is it worth $1.6 billion? The answer is a year later, the same freaking cartridge went down to $650,000, losing almost like over half.
Yep.
Was and
down
then
to 40%.
a few months later, another copy, not near mint, not as near as minty as that, was all the way down to less than $100,000. Absolutely ridiculous. Okay, so the nostalgia market is there, and if we're going to relate this to Master Universe, that is true rarity. Okay, Eternia is absolutely true rarity. If you're talking about things which can be equated to rarity, we know from Mattel's mouth that there were only about 5,000 units ever shipped, ever. Okay, how many they have in their warehouse, God knows. And apparently they had to hunt down their own for a display, which is weird. But the reality is that is true rarity. Anything under 10,000 pieces is actually incredibly rare. Okay, and the fact that they are all deteriorating at a frightening rate, right? The tracks are break down all the time.
The monorail, yeah.
Exactly. Because that is the biggest concern when collecting this piece of nostalgia. A new edition to not necessarily replace, but to basically become its own icon, right? That is something where so many collectors, the Grail has literally multiplied out of nowhere, quite literally. And if you think about where we ended up in the number, it only was around double of what. It's actually less than double.
Less than, yeah.
It's still less than double. We didn't hit the 10,000.
Nope.
Right? So
or everyone would have gotten the grayscale, right?
Yeah. It is still in the incredibly rare category because you can now lump the vintage version versus the technically new version, and they're both within less than 10,000 pieces. Incredibly rare. So if you are one of the lucky buyers or people who could afford to fund it, and you decide to not open it, or you decide to buy 3 and you flip one, Mike, titanium hanger. Oh, sorry, something happened.
Something in your nose there.
Yeah, no, it's the cold.
I did. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I want to pull up Delta 17's comment there
Sure.
at 11:41.
Where is it?
It's about 10 messages from the bottom.
Okay.
Just about with regards to tooling costs, because he's living that right now. Like molding costs are not rising that much from what he has seen, right? Some factories are now using smaller molds, smaller tooling to keep a higher quality. And some us toy makers having to pay more for the molds per the toy. See, that's what I was saying earlier, that like we can talk to people in the industry, like Steve here, who knows that prices are going up. But to my point earlier, are they going up so much that Hasbro has to price hike that much? I know there's a hike, but where does the fair hike end and the fleecing hike begin? You know what I mean? So that's kind of, I saw that and I was like, he basically reiterated what I said earlier on. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not hating on Hasbro. I still buy their product. I mean, look around me, look on the other wall. Mattel, same thing. I'm still buying their product. But know what you're getting into when you're getting into it. It's like, yeah, they could charge me cheaper, but I want this badly enough. Like, that's the game we play right now, right?
Fright Zone says, I feel they take advantage of being adult trending toys. I hear what you're saying, and obviously with brands like a movie like the DCU, the MCU, when the hype train is high, right? People want to collect, right? I mean, that they want a keepsake, they want something to remind them of that property, right? And I totally get that. But we've been seeing more and more often that the current trend, the current slate of movies is not incurring sales. It's actually, a lot of peg warmers seem to be on the shelves. So there's definitely a downward trend to that too, Fright Zone, if we're not careful. Pop Actor says, I wonder if it was illegal for Walmart to sell, as an example, Horde Trooper for $14, and then the next day raised the price overnight and even brought it, even though it wasn't at all sold on the shelf. The answer is no. MSRP is exactly what it is. It's a manufacturer's suggested retail price.
Yeah.
The retailer is allowed to sell it at even triple, or it's like a car. And what's happening with many of these Cybertrucks right now for the Ford, the hell are they called? Echo trucks. I don't know what the hell they're called, but basically the ones that are completely battery powered. They are selling them, almost double the cost, and they've actually been taken to court for it. It didn't work. It's MSRP, and that's the point. It's a suggested retail price.
Ford
And
Lightning.
Sorry, Ford Lightning.
Yeah.
Yes, the Ford Lightning.
Lightning.
Yes. In the States, it's
Nolan got it in the bottom. That's not me.
yeah. Well, that's the thing, right? They are being charged double the price, right? It's absolutely crazy. Dark Onan. I don't know, guys. I feel pretty powerless since there are so many other people who are willing to pay higher prices. Doesn't matter if I choose to buy or not. Overall, the message is we will pay it. What you know? What I have my opinion on that, but what's your opinion on that, Ken?
So was it on this stream or another stream where there is a sector of the community, like a very, very top percentile, and they're probably the ones who are causing the prices to go up on eBay by just hitting buy it now, because they have a lot of disposable income. I'm not talking about myself. I'm talking about some people out there who just have a lot of disposable income. They just hit buy it now, and they get it without thinking. I tell the story here. I listed a couple of Hot Toys figures on Craigslist about 6 years ago, and somebody responded he wanted to buy both. He asked me for a slight discount. I gave it to him, and he said, one condition: can you bring it to my shop? And I'm like, yeah, it's on the way home from work. When I went there, he was in a fancy car detailing place. That was the bottom floor. He's like, yeah, just come up to my office. I'm like, whoa, okay, Mr. What's the term? Hoity toity?
Hoity toity.
Hoity toity. I'm like, so I'm carrying those two Hot Toys figures, and I go in and I go through a row of combination of lighting, full lighted detolfs, custom shelving. There was nothing but high-end Hot Toys type collectibles in all those shelves. I bring it to his desk, which is like this fancy, like gorgeous wooden table. He introduces himself to me like this businessman. He's like, yeah, just leave him there. Counts 1, 2, 3, like hands me hundreds. And I'm sitting there like, wow, like I didn't know that this level of collector existed, but they do. And there's been times when I've had a vendor table at the shows before, and somebody just came, said, I'd never seen him before. He goes, I'll take that. And I'm like, okay, I added up. I'm like, that'll be $375, sir. 1, 2, 3, 75, walks away. And somebody who knew him, like my friend, who actually sold me this 6 night, came to me and said, oh yeah, that was, I know he's a collector in the community. He doesn't have much time to come to shows because he's usually in surgery. I'm like, what do you mean by surgery? Well, that's Dr. Albert, whatever, right? And I'm like, oh, so like if the guy has a doctor's income and he's in, working 12 hours a day or doing surgery or being a specialist, what does he really have time for? The fact the guy was at a toy show to buy a bunch of stuff and leave and go back to work, or go on eBay, quickly buy something, get it shipped, not think about it, throw it on a shelf when he has free time 3 weeks from now. There are people who collect like that, right? So when, as the comment earlier was saying, sometimes I feel pretty powerless when people keep buying. It's that top percentile, and I have a hard time blaming them because they've earned that right. They've got the big business, they've got the big job, right? But at the same time, it takes kind of like the average Joe type of collector, right, and makes them feel a little bit powerless, right? Because I fall somewhere in between that average Joe collector. I can't even say I'm a high-end collector because I bought a lot of the higher-end stuff like 15 years ago before it became high-end, right? So it's like I feel bad for my fellow everyday collector who isn't like that guy in the fancy detailing shop or the doctor who bought off me, right?
You know what? You should never feel bad about things like that. I'll tell you why. The reality is, as much as that doctor likes to show off his stuff, he'll never appreciate the way you do.
Okay,
you know what I mean?
Fair.
He takes that he takes everything as a he takes it as a wow factor, right? All of his friends who come over and see it, it's just like holy crap, and none of them are going to call him a geek. Why? Because he's the richest friend they got, right? He's the one who when they go to what's it called? I don't know. When they go to Gordon Ramsay's what's it called, restaurant, he's the one picking up the tab. You know what I mean? None of them. He's got yes men all around him, right? And he doesn't have a community like we have. You know what I mean? He doesn't have what we have.
Yes.
Right?
Actually, the only reason that doctor guy knew my friend was because my friend is married to a dentist, and they kind of were in the same community because locally they were all kind of knew each other. So like it was like the rich person knew another like soaring career lady who was getting rich. And then you're right, that doctor person, I've never seen him again. He does not appreciate his stuff the way we do. He's trying to capture his childhood with what absolutely limited free time he has. Yeah. Mind you, he's out there saving lives in surgeries. I can't fault him. But you're right. He's not going to sit here on streams and talk passion with us, right?
No.
So
he might watch us.
Right. Or
and appreciate us. He might be part of this community, but
if he is, bravo,
absolutely,
because you're going to retire earlier than me,
that
and
proves
you can
me
keep
wrong.
Buying stuff, right?
Yeah, and that proves me wrong. But up until now, I can only say what I see at face value, and that's like if you're going to plop down that kind of money and not even think not even bat an eyelash about it, that's great. Congratulations to you. I wish I could do that.
I was a little tired coming into the stream, and I've got my own in about 9.5 hours. I'm not trying to wrap this up, but I like what I see in the chat. People seem to be agreeing with us, and you don't
have to agree with us, but I like the conversation.
I like the conversation as well. Like I feel like we put on a great rock performance on stage, and we're playing to the crowd right now, and we know we've hit every note right. Feel like a Queen at Live Aid 85. That's what I feel like right now.
We are actually going to start winding down. It's about that time anyway. Okay. I want to thank everybody here for being here tonight. It's been a great, wonderful time. Thank you for spending your Christmas Eve with us, guys. I mean, tomorrow is the last day. I know a lot of you are going to be out there looking for those last minute deals. Like I won't, because we are snowed in here. I might have a Christmas Day unboxing though, so that might be kind of fun. So I hope you guys will join me for that. I want to thank my special guest. I want to thank my special guest, Toy Konnections. I don't know why Tiberian Hangers. I guess because I saw
he had some good things in the chat tonight,
I saw Mike in the chat. We couldn't get to everybody's comments today. I'm sorry, guys, but unfortunately, it's a riveting, polarizing, idea. What is a Kidult? I think the truth is we are all Kidults in this community, but is it the term we want to be identified with? Right?
I'm not sure. And Obi-Wan makes a good comment in the chat there. How do we know that somebody who's never with their toys doesn't appreciate? You're right, we don't, and that is speculatory on our part. So we can't actually. You're right. We can't say that factually.
This is true.
Right. I do know that when I was working 12 hours a day and I wasn't seeing my collection back in the day, because I had a 12 to 14 hour shift, I wasn't thinking about it as much. What little time I had, I really appreciated it. So,
but I will say this, and you know what? Agree with me or disagree with me, but I believe this to be true. This is just my own opinion. But I'll tell you something right now. I, who have to work for a whole month to be able to afford any of the things I buy, I think that I will. This is just my own perspective. Nobody has to agree with me, but I think that I will appreciate the things I have a little bit more than somebody who can just look at something and say, you know what, I need that today and grab it.
Okay,
that's just my opinion. Okay,
that's right.
I am not. You're absolutely right. It was actually presumptuous of me and kind of stupid of me to say things like that. But I will say that I think that we who do not have as much as somebody who can just snap their fingers and say, you know what, I want to buy that entire store, right? I think there is a little bit more appreciation on that level. That once I finally get something in my hands, and there's also the regret factor. Okay, there's the other thing. Will I regret all that money that just disappeared out of my bank account after paying for all my pre-orders? Than somebody who doesn't even have to think twice about that. Okay. There, I think we might have something to think about. And again, I'm not asking for anything.
But again, you're not saying he's wrong, but you did come at it from another angle, right? That's personalized and customized to you. And for me as well, and I know we have to wrap up here, but like when I get into the habit of chasing the next thing. One of the reasons I do the deep lore research and have the channel, the YouTube channel outlet that I have. And sorry, what's going on? Oh,
No, keep going, keep going.
okay. Sorry, I saw Super 7 Snake Mountain.
Yeah.
And when I do the deep research and I present the videos that I do, sometimes that's because I need to go back and appreciate the lore and the backstory of something that maybe I haven't looked at in a little while, right? Because I just bought it, I put it on the shelf, I didn't think about it. You know what? I need to start thinking about what I have, not what I don't have. So it's part of why my own channel exists.
Absolutely, my friend, 100%. And you know what? Your channel's great, and that's exactly what you bring to the community is absolutely great. And guys, if you haven't already, please definitely check out Toy Konnections on YouTube. Definitely give him a like and a follow. You will not regret it. Mike over at Tidarian Hanger says, anyone who backed an extra attorney is a saint. Jay, look up the Super 7 Snake Mountain, and many wish extras were backed there. I know that, Mike, and I do appreciate what you're saying, and I make fun of the whole situation. Obviously, you bought a number of them. You've been, you know the market. You understand what it's like to buy and sell. And I don't disagree with what you're doing. As I said multiple times, not everybody's a scalper, right? Do not judge people just because they are reselling what they have. You just do not know what situation they're in. They might have just lost their home. They might have just had a divorce. They might need money for their kid's surgery. You have no idea what they're going through.
There's a fundamental difference from the guy who buys something, hasn't even left Walmart yet, takes a picture and then lists it. There's a very big difference between that guy
and listing it for 3 times the cost at that same moment.
Right, and listing it that's a very big difference between that and kind of just assuming that sometimes people pay you a buyer's fee, right? Like if something came out to $35, they might give you $40 because they don't have to pay the gas.
Yeah.
Right.
That makes sense too, right?
I've done that for people. They've done it for me, right? I don't always expect it. Yeah.
Even in the community, right? You should give a little bit extra to the people who have, gone out, 3 cities across just to pick it up for you. You know what I mean? Like that is something. My evil twins. What about the guy who can hustle and to get what he wants when he sees it? I don't think twice, but I hustle to get that item and get it. But that's my point, right? I'm saying that, again, just for food for thought. There is a difference between somebody who really has to struggle to get what they want versus somebody who has the opportunity and has the availability. And you know what? No judging on them. Good for them. The fact that they've worked hard already and earned their place to where they are. Congratulations. But in the situation where the rest of us are in, that little bit extra, sometimes you have to decide whether you want to eat or if you want to buy a toy or if you want to put, you want to pay for the heating of the house, or you want to complete your collection. There is that, and that is something to consider.
No fries with your next meal. That's all.
Absolutely, 100%. The little extras are where everything goes, guys. I'd love to go on and on and on and on and on, but you know what? Today is Christmas Eve. I want to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas and of course a happy holiday season. Ken, let everybody. Do you have any wishes for everybody? And please let them know where they can reach you.
You know what? First off, if there's anything that we say here in the chat that's based on our observations and experiences that yours differs, we won't dismiss what any of you say at all. And I think hopefully I can speak for Jay when I say that as well, because I think me and him, there you go. We think on very much on the same wavelength, right? Here to spread the knowledge, awareness of the hobby, finding the number of people who can congregate in the chat and who are also a lot of the same names that I see in other chats, right? It's good to get here and enjoy this hobby, the space that we have. As for where you can find me, you can look up Toy Konnections right here online. And there's also in 9.5 hours, I'm going to do my own stream. It's going to be a best of 2022 recap of just my own personal experiences. I'm going to pull up the G.I. Joes, the Transformers, the Motu stuff that I got this year and that I happen to like. But there's going to be people in the chat who say, Ken, that figure didn't do it for me. You didn't mention XYZ. And I'm going to say, you know what? I didn't. But anyway, we'll get to that in 9.5 hours time. I'm going to get some shut eye. And we'll see you then for the TKO Toy Connections online live stream. And then next week, I will be releasing a video on the recent Toy Traders tour that I did. I did a shorter tour last year to close out this year. I'm doing a slightly more extended tour and bit more of a thorough walkabout on that. And I'm also working on History of Transformers 1985. I'm working with a collaborator from the Phantom Power podcast right now. Sorry, I'm plugging a lot of things right now. Jay, we're past the 2-hour mark. Let's yeah.
Ken, I could listen to you speak all night long. So, guys, definitely go check out Toy Connections on YouTube. Definitely give him a like and a follow. I keep touching this thing. You will definitely love the nostalgia and the retrospectives that he keeps bringing. Thank you so much, Ken. Definitely looking forward to those videos you just mentioned, guys. Definitely give Ken a like and a follow. Last comments before we log off. Pop Actor Rick says, I felt bad when somebody on GDL said in the chat that he sold his Flock Panther to pay for his operation. That was heartbreaking. People judged him without knowing why. Again, we are all in different situations.
I remember that.
And you know what? It's not for us to judge people. It really is not. And I made that mistake today. You know what I mean? I said I didn't judge anybody, but I made the mistake of saying that this is possibly something that he doesn't have to think about. That might not be true. He might be just as big a fan as we are. But at the end of the day, I put it in a slightly different perspective, and I hope that's a little bit of food for thought for everybody.
Yep. And SA here says he's a doctor working long, grueling hours. So speak of the enjoy
yourself.
My brother-in-law, who I just had dinner with earlier, he's actually a kidney specialist.
Yeah.
Same thing. And he says, here, SA says this hobby and all the associated podcasts are a place of peace and recentering. And we thank you for being here. And we thank you for keeping people alive. And
you guys are heroes. That's the real thing.
You're heroes.
You're the ones on the front lines. We owe you so much that we can never repay. Jonathan Chong, no, it's called Craft Dinner this week, or even a no-name brand if I'm buying model trains. There you go, Jonathan. Yeah, I totally get it. And where was that comment?
The SA one?
Yeah.
That's 4 from the bottom or 5 from the bottom. Yeah.
Toys being different to different people. I'm a doctor. I work long working hours. This hobby and associate podcast is my place of peace and recentering. Thank you, SA. We do appreciate everything, and of course, you are a hero in everybody's eyes. Please continue to do the great work you do, and I hope you have a happy holiday and a Merry Christmas if you celebrate it. Reverend Ken, mabuhay, maligayang Pasko, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, take care, everybody. Geek proud to you too, Reverend Ken. Merry Christmas, buddy. Mark D, good show. Haley and Drad, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. Keep safe. Jordan, thank you for your services. I say yes, 100%. Guys, it's been an amazing evening. Thank you so much. Christmas Eve. Do what you need to do. Definitely, please enjoy with your family or friends. Check up on the ones you love. Your brother, your sister, your mother, your cousin, your best friend, everybody who means something to you. Your dog, your cat, everybody. Definitely check on them. Make sure they're okay, especially in this time. And of course, if you have the availability, give generously to those who need it the most this year. There are people who are way more in a worse situation than we are, especially with that. Thank you to all the service workers out there who put their lives on the line for us. Thank you, guys are the best. All the doctors, all the emergency personnel, everybody out there. Thank you guys so much. You are amazing. Ken, last comments and salutations.
Thanks for always having me on here. Like, I'm starting to feel like a little bit of a semi-regular guest host on this thing. And the timing is kind of convenient, right? Because people go to bed at in my home here, and I'm kind of free to watch Netflix, or now I'm falling behind on the shows that I'm watching because I'm coming on these streams, and I never regret it. That's the good thing, right? Wonderful community, wonderful group of people there in the chat. Thank you for the invite all the time, and for kind of keeping your door open for us. And you got a super chat there to pull up and thank Sculpt Viper Tommy. I think I know this person actually.
Well, Sculpt Viper Tommy, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. Ken has a good head on his shoulders. You too, Jay. Thank you so much, Sculpt.
I have to get in touch with him because I think I know this guy through a common friend.
Sculpt Viper. Do you know Ken? I think you do.
We know each other.
But guys, definitely Ken brings up some great points, and of course, Ken, thank you so much for being here. You are always welcome, Ken. Do not feel that you're not a regular, because you are a regular. That's the way it's supposed to be. So, guys, thank you. Huge thanks to Ken for being our guest tonight. Once again, guys, I want to thank everybody here for liking, commenting, subscribing to the channel. You guys are the best. I would like to say a final thank you to my Patreon members who, of course, make this channel possible. Princess Kagali, Old IT Guy, Ryra Ken, 33, Joseph Michaels, Gamerbud, Mini Plastic Toy Shop, Jordan from Canada, Schwartz Matt, Snell's World, Skyfall, Emma Toys Canada, Palpatine 1975, S. Krishnan 37, Smoked Ham, Efren Riviera, Rufus Roger, Nolan, two Nolans, John Joker, Sir Clifton, Terrence St. John, and Ostramandus Toys. Thank you guys so much. You guys are, you guys are the reason why I'm able to make episodes every single week. I really do appreciate it. But if it wasn't for everybody here in this community, this channel would not exist. Thank you guys for all the love and support you've shown over the years. Merry Christmas to everybody. Sculpt Viker Tommy says D17. I don't know what
that's where I thought we knew each other. Delta 17. That's where we know
Delta
each other.
17. And
he's an incredible sculptor. Like we're not in the same realm because I'm working on the more writing creative. He's working on more of the design creative. When I see his sculpts, I'm just like, this guy's got talent. And this guy Steve here, he pays for some of the. We're gonna show you some of the stuff when it's time.
Yeah, and sculpt and you guys see, everyone seems to know Ken. Ken is a rock star. Guys, thank you so much for being here tonight. It's been an absolute blast. I hope you're all doing well, staying safe. And as always, everybody, thank you very much for watching. Good journey, everybody. Geek proud. Merry Christmas, and have a happy and safe holiday season.